Hey, this is Dancing Rabbit with your late edition Pagan Perspective on the weekend here. Well, it's the weekend somewhere on the planet, I'm sure still. Anyway, this week's question has to do with pagan and sort of semi-interfaith weddings. And the question has been repeated several times already, so I'm not going to reiterate it once again. It is my studied opinion that it's perfectly okay if one person is pagan but not Asatru, and the other person is basically not religious, perhaps spiritual but not religious, an atheist, agnostic, and you want to do a basically Asatru based wedding because it's legal in your country. I think it's perfectly okay. I don't think the gods or the traditions or the ancestors are in the least bit offended. And if they are, they can just get over it. Um, I have done officiated at 4 different weddings, um, hand fastings, and 2 of them were legally binding. The other 2 were basically spiritual ceremonies. I have done them for couples who were both pagan, for couples who were, one was agnostic, the other sort of a generic sort of Christian, but not real fundamentalist about it. Uh, for couples that were not particularly religious at all. And I always met with both of them, got as much input as they wanted to give me. Some couples want to give you basically the whole scripted thing, and you just learn your part and do it. And others want me to write the whole thing. And most of them are somewhere in between. But I'm comfortable with doing that, and so far it's worked quite well. If you're in the United States or the UK and you're wanting to do a pagan or an interfaith type wedding or hand fasting, perhaps one where even both of the partners are pagan, but the family is definitely not, and you don't want to offend, your whole extended family at something like a wedding where you're doing something they would consider either bizarre or definitely evil and of the devil. I would suggest that you contact a local or nearby Unitarian or Unitarian Universalist in the U.S. church. You can find them by doing a congregation search at uua.org. Um, I'm a member of the Unitarian Church, and that's where I met Feather. And it's an unusual, but it's a nice group of people, atheists, agnostics, liberal Christians, Buddhist, humanist, Muslims, pagans, and the ministers are, or at least should be, open to doing a wedding, hand fasting, um, or Holy Union service pretty much however you want it to be done. And if you don't have a whole lot of specific ideas about how you would want it to be done, then that's what they're trained to do. They know that kind of stuff. So those are my thoughts on it. Since you've already kind of made your plans, in a way, our answers here at Pagan Perspective are sort of moot for this particular couple, which is maybe a good thing. It's always a little scary to think that somebody out there in cyberspace might actually take my advice totally literally and go out and do it. Uh, it puts a huge responsibility, I guess, on me and the other hosts here to come up with good stuff that's at least not going to hurt anybody too much. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Have a great leftover little piece of the weekend that might be left for you. Otherwise, it may be a Monday, and I'll be back at work, so I will have even less time to think of deep spiritual thoughts than I have already. but it's all good. So till next time, this is Dancing Rabbit. Bye bye.